Take a close look at the coin on your screen. It says 20 pence. It carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and the date is 1982. At first glance, it might look like just another old British coin. But 1982 is the detail that makes this coin especially interesting. Because 1982 was the first year that the British 20 pence coin was introduced into general circulation. The Royal Mint says the 20p was introduced in June 1982, partly because there was a need for a new denomination that could help reduce the amount of smaller change people carried. It was also only the second seven-sided equilateral coin to enter British circulation, following the 50p. And that means your 1982 example isn't simply an old coin. It comes from the very beginning of the 20p's circulating history. Now let's examine the coin itself. The denomination is 20 pence, and the coin has the distinctive seven-sided shape that became one of the most recognizable features of British decimal coinage. The specifications are impressive for such a small piece of money. The original 20p was made from copper nickel, measured about 21.4 millimeters across, was approximately 1.75 millimeters thick, and weighed 5 grams. Now turn your attention to the Queen's portrait. This is Queen Elizabeth II, whose reign lasted from 1952 until 2022. The portrait on an old British coin isn't merely decoration. It tells us which era of Britain's monetary history we're looking at. And then there's the reverse. The design features the Tudor rose, a powerful symbol associated with England and the British monarchy. So you've got several historical elements combined into one little coin. The beginning of the 20p denomination, Elizabeth II's reign, British decimal currency, and an iconic English symbol. But now comes the question every coin collector wants answered. Is a 1982 20p automatically rare and worth a fortune? The answer is no. And that's important. Being old by itself does not make a coin extremely valuable. Many 1982 20p coins were made for circulation, so an ordinary circulated example generally shouldn't be described as a guaranteed jackpot. What you should look for instead is condition and unusual characteristics. Examine the Queen's portrait carefully. Look at the lettering. Study the date. Inspect the rim and the seven-sided edge. Look for unusual doubling, striking problems, missing details, or anything that appears different from a normal example. And most importantly, don't clean the coin just because it looks old. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and may reduce its appeal to collectors. There's another fascinating lesson here. The coin doesn't have to be worth hundreds or thousands of pounds to be interesting. Sometimes the real value is the story. This coin takes us back to 1982, when Britain was introducing a completely new 20p denomination. Decades later, that ordinary-looking piece of change has become a small reminder of how British money evolved. So if you have a 1982 Elizabeth II 20 pence coin, don't throw it into a pile of ordinary change without looking at it. Turn it over. Check the date. Study the details. And ask yourself one simple question. Are you looking at an ordinary 20p or a particularly interesting example from the very first year of Britain's 20p story? If you enjoy discovering old coins, unusual varieties, and fascinating pieces of monetary history, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Because sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories, and the next one in your collection might be the one you never expected to find.